Last year, I talked about a prismatic Warlock build that featured having endless supers in the form of Nova Bomb, where you get your super in a matter of seconds. Today, I'd like to revisit that build, now that we have a completely different, significantly shifted sandbox in both build crafting and crazy artifact mods to utilize. Let's begin at the top with the engine. This consists of utilizing two exotics that recently got a rework. Well, at this point, it's not recent, but anyway, the two exotics I'm referring to are Bad Juju and Skull of Dire Ahamkara. Now, I imagine a lot of you haven't used either of these since planes were invented, so let's catch you up. Bad Juju is an exotic pulse rifle with a perk called String of Curses, which states that getting kills will refill your magazine so you never run out of ammo, and increase damage for a short duration. Lastly, based on your stacks of String of Curses, you will also get bonus super energy back from those kills. At this point, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with Skull of Dire Ahamkara? Isn't that a Nova Bomb exotic? Well, yes and no. While Skull of Dire Ahamkara does provide super energy after getting kills with Nova Bomb, it also gives you bonus super energy with weapon kills, with the only requirement being that you have a Devour buff active. And that brings us to the setup of the build. All we need to get our engine going for this build and start spamming supers every 20 seconds is activating Devour. And with this build, that is a laughably easy condition to fulfill as Prismatic Warlock. We have multiple ways to apply Devour on command. Thanks to the Feed the Void aspect, Devour is activated from any source of ability damage we have to our disposal as long as we get a single kill. This includes Nova Bomb itself, our grenade, or specifically our melee. Why our melee, you ask? Well, for this build, our melee nets us a 3-for-1 special at Waffle House. First, we need to talk about our second aspect to explain this, which is going to be Lightning Surge, which gives us the ability to cha-cha slide across the area, and thanks to our melee of choice, Arcane Needle, we can have up to 3 melee charges available of this at all times. Upon just one successful Lightning Slide, this will proc 3 different buffs for us. First, it'll proc Devour, which will allow us to heal on every single kill that we get from here on out. On top of that, we also have Skull of Dire Ahamkara live now, thanks to our slide, allowing us to get bonus super energy on every single kill because we have Devour active from our melee. And don't forget, every single kill we get from now on will also refresh the timer on Devour, allowing you to keep it up basically the entire time there are enemies on the field. We're not done yet, though. Our Lightning Slide also nets us Amplified, assuming we get multi-kills with the attack. And Amplified is a big part in allowing us to be truly unkillable with the new sandbox changes to it. For those of you unaware, Amplified now grants us 15% extra damage resistance, and on top of that, you are also harder to hit for the duration of your Amplified timer. Lastly, the third buff our slide grants us is Radiant. This is thanks to one of our fragments, Facet of Dawn, which gives us Radiant upon hitting an enemy with our melee, which in turn will then make Bad Juju stronger thanks to Radiant giving us bonus weapon damage. So just to recap, as a starting point to the engine, just getting a few trash mob kills with just one single Lightning Slide will net you the following: Devour, Amplified, Radiant, activation to Skull of Dire Ahamkara, 15% extra damage resistance, and being harder to hit by enemies. And now that you have your engine going, you will have free reign to bully entire waves of enemies at will. With Skull of Dire Ahamkara active, all you have to do is simply get kills with Bad Juju. With every kill you get, you increase your super meter in chunks, as well as gain more stacks of String of Curses, which in turn will give you more damage and more super energy. But we're still not quite done with speccing into our super. Let's go over the rest of the kit real quick to get a better look. Okay, so here's the ability screen. As we already covered, we have Nova Bomb as our super, and then we have Feed the Void and Electrostatic Mind as our aspects, so let's move on from those. First up, we have Phoenix Dive. So Phoenix Dive is great for a few reasons. Number one, its cooldown is much less than a Healing Rift or an Empowering Rift. These are 122, and Phoenix Dive is 55 seconds, so we just get it back faster. This is good because not only does it cure you, which heals you very quickly upon command from basically any position, but also this is going to be combining with one of our mods, Dynamo, in our helmet, which will give us super energy when we do our class ability near any enemy targets. Next is our melee. Now, I mentioned Arcane Needle is here to give us 3 charges for our Lightning Surge. However, this melee can also be used as a 2-for-1 special as it unravels a target, and it's a Darkness debuff, which means if you hit Arcane Needle on a boss, you will then make your Facet of Courage live, which will then increase the damage of your Nova Bomb as it's a Void ability. And then for my grenade, it's another combo piece. We have Vortex Grenade going in combination with the Facet of Dominance, which will make any Void Grenade weaken targets. So my Vortex Grenade can weaken like a champion, a mini-boss, etc. And for my last two fragments, we have Facet of Grace. This allows us to defeat enemies with kinetic weapons, aka Bad Juju, to grant me bonus Transcendent Energy. Why does that matter? Well, when you go Transcendent, you have unlimited melees that recharge, unlimited grenades that recharge. You also get bonus damage resistance when you're in Transcendence, and you get 5% bonus damage to your weapon, so you increase the damage of Bad Juju while you're in Transcendence. And lastly, we have our fourth form of damage resistance through Facet of Protection, which states while you're surrounded by combatants, you are more resistant to incoming damage. So basically, when you melee slide into a group of enemies, you already have built-in damage resist before you even hit them, thanks to Facet of Protection. Now with the kit out of the way, the gameplay loop is very simple. You start off a battle looking for a wave of enemies, you then slide into them with Lightning Surge, which then procs Devour, Amplified, and Radiant for you, and at this point, you start building up stacks of String of Curses with Bad Juju. As you do that, you're getting giant chunks of super energy to you, and eventually, Bad Juju will also get max stacks for String of Curses. Once you get your super, you fire off your super, which will also then give you bonus energy to your new super, assuming you get a couple of kills, and then you just rinse repeat the process with Bad Juju. Finally, let's go over the mods. First, the artifact mods. So here, there's only a couple of things that really benefit you for this build. The top priority here is going to be Elemental Siphon, which states rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon or a weapon matching your super, in this case, a kinetic weapon with Bad Juju, will give you elemental pickups. And then the boost for this is elemental pickups grant matching super energy when they are collected. So you just get kills with your Bad Juju, which will then give you Ionic Traces on the floor that you pick up, and you get free bonus super energy off of that. Next is the Bull Charge special. We have Flashover, and then we have Defibrillating Blast. Flashover will give you more damage on your Bull Charge Lightning, and also make you Amplified, and it's pretty easy actually to make yourself Amplified and then have Bull Charge stacks with this build. Not as easy as Titan, but still pretty easy. And then Defibrillating Blast, anytime that you have your Bull Charge actually activate, you will then heal yourself. Not just for stunning champions, by the way, just any Bull Charge in general. And lastly, we have Limit Break. Casting your super while you're critically wounded or have an elemental buff matching your super gets you increased super damage to that super. In this case, when we have Devour active, which is the entire point of the build, you can then feed 30% more damage to your Nova Bomb. It's basically a free 30% buff for almost zero work, so absolutely have this on. Lastly, let's go over the armor mods. So in the helmet, we have one copy of Dynamo, which I mentioned earlier. Rifting or Phoenix Diving near an enemy will give you a chunk of super energy, as well as reduce the super cooldown, which means you will get your super faster. Then we have Kinetic Siphon next to it, which is pretty straightforward. You're using Bad Juju, it's kinetic, make orbs, pretty simple. And then we have Font of Wisdom. Anytime that we do pick an orb and then get an armor charge, this allows us to get a bonus of 30 intellect to whatever stat we have already, which technically makes it faster to recharge your super. In our gloves, I have one copy of Heavy Handed for when I do my slides, I will make an Aura of Power when I get those kills. Why not, right? Next, we have Focusing Strike, which gives me class ability energy when we cause damage with a powered melee attack. Again, our slide. And then one copy of Kinetic Loader for those very few situations where I do have to reload Bad Juju, like when all the enemies are gone and it's not full ammo, then it's just a faster reload. In our chest, we have the standard Resist, 1 Solar, 1 Void, 1 Arc. You can change these to like reserve mods if you'd like, depending on the activity, up to you. In boots, I have 3 Kinetic Weapon Surges on to maximize the damage of Bad Juju. And then in my boots, I have one copy of Distribution, which reduces all ability cooldowns, including your super. Then we have one copy of Special Finisher in the event that I need green for my special slot weapon, and then one copy of Powerful Attraction for when I do activate my Rift or Phoenix Dive, I can scoop up all the orbs around me to get my super faster. And as always, if you want to check out the build on your own, I will have a dim link for this in the description below of this video. And while you're down there, you can also check out my other socials like Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Discord, etc. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to leave as a comment, you can leave Bad Juju as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.